Welcome, everybody. You're on Mind Your Biz, and we have an author and business owner, Larry Pinson, Sr. in the house. Welcome, Larry. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Evan, how are you, man?
Always great. Always good, man. Good to have you here. Tell the audience what book you wrote and what kind of business you have so we get an understanding where you're coming from.
I wrote a book to provide jobs for everybody. In other words, this book will end poverty and fix the economy worldwide. And it will give everybody opportunity to understand that they own their own hours. Everybody know that they have their own DNA. Everybody has their own fingerprints. But what the world don't know is that they own their own hours, 168 hours every week. And what's wrong with the pay system right now is that they do not schedule a 24/7 regular work week, and they don't schedule a 24/8 holiday work week. So that's what my book is all about.
Man, that's a big statement. You're telling the world that you can solve the biggest problem right now, and you have to provide some backup for that. So they're gonna say, hey, Larry, how are you really gonna do this? How can you turn my 9 to 5 job Monday through Friday? How can I make my own hours if my boss is only paying me to work those hours?
Oh, well, it's simple. First of all, you got to understand, like I said, you own your own hours. That means that everybody in the whole wide world have their own hours. Because already, as I said before, everybody have their own DNA. People that be before you, and the people in the present, and the people after you will not have your same fingerprints. And that's amazing. Have you ever thought about that? All those people in this world, and everybody have their own DNA and they have their own fingerprints. And guess what? You have your own hours, 168 every week. Every week you have your own. And then the great part about that, see, you cannot work your hours on somebody else's hours. So that means you have to be broken down into what I call a unique four-in-the-box pay system. Now, simply, a four-in-the-box pay system is based on bids. Everybody have a bid, and you have a 24-hour work day. So that means that you have to break the work day down in 3 different increments. And at the United States Post Office, they call them tours. And in a regular job outside of the post office, they might call them shifts. And then people in the CTA, Transit Authority, in the city that I grew up in, Chicago, Illinois, they call them picks. So everybody has their own words for it, but all it is an 8-hour workday. And the labor law state that you work 8 hours, 5 days per week. That's it. But they state that you work for your salary, and that's wrong. You cannot, it's no way you can work 8 hours a day for your yearly salary. See, first of all, I'm gonna start with the bids. A bid is 2 7-day and 1 6-day work week. So that means that if you see in my book, that means that a bid, you got to have 4 40-hour employees, okay? And they have their 40 hours. And so the first 7 day, you have to working from Monday to Friday, 5 days, 8 hours. But in this pay location, it's very important that they stay in their pay location. And then you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And those are the days off in the work week. So it's very confusing when somebody gets to listen to it, because we are so used to this outdated pay system that it don't have no backup for the work.
So tell me this, Larry. Are you saying that employers need to change their shifts for employees, or are you saying that employees should demand a new kind of shift?
No, the shifts is going to stay the same. It's 24-hour day. You cannot change time. Right. You got to be aware of the pay system. See, because the pay system You got to understand the fiscal year. Most people don't understand the fiscal year. And I'm talking about the government fiscal year. The government fiscal year begins October the 1st and it ends September the 30th. And that's where the government have their budget in there. And a lot of companies use this fiscal year for their budget, but a lot of companies don't. Some companies use January for their fiscal year. Some of them use May. Some of them use June, the end of the fiscal year. But all the fiscal years are incorrect. And that's really the only thing that, in my opinion, the government got right is the fiscal year. Anything behind that is wrong.
So let me ask you this. You have this system that you feel can solve a lot of problems. How are you realistically going to get not only people to get on board with this, but employers and government? I mean, this is a big task. You're trying to change policy that even politicians struggle getting anything passed, let alone someone, a civilian like yourself.
And that's a good point, Evan. And you know what? Everybody that works in the C.H.A.P.P.S system, especially people at the United States Post Office, it's 30 hours a week worth of work. It's free. It's free labor.
Now wait, Larry, let me get it straight because I don't want to miss your point. So how is that free labor if the postman or post lady is working 30, 40 hours a week and getting paid? So who's not getting paid?
Okay. When I first started the United States Post Office, I even did a video. It's out there, and I actually leave a video, and I did it in 2012. And what I said on that video, I said that when I first went to the post office and I started working, and they told me, said, "Look, Larry, we can only guarantee you 20 hours a week worth of work." Oh yeah, and let me say this again. Now, the post office, everything, all the money is guaranteed at the post office because you got to work before you get paid. So all the money is guaranteed from the post office, and the money is coming from the workers. It's not coming from taxpayers' money. The post office might not tell you that, but there's a whole lot of people think that by them they're using taxpayers' the stamps to pay the post office salary.
So whose money are they using to pay for those 20 hours?
They are using the workers' money, but they've been hoodwinked into it. When I first started, they told me, "Larry, you only guarantee 20 hours." But as soon as I got out the meeting and I got with a supervisor, and he was teaching me certain stuff, he was teaching me my job, what I had to do. And then I said, "I'm worried, man. I said, I can't live off no 40 hours a week." I said, "I got a family to take care of and a lot of bills to pay, man." He said, "Man, don't worry about that. Don't worry about it. Because you will get 40 hours and you will get overtime." And I'm thinking, I said, overtime? How am I getting overtime? Because the labor law state, you only work 8 hours a day, and 5 days a week. So that's where the tours come in, because it got to be 3 tours, 3 8-hour shifts. So once you get out of that shift, the hours that you work overtime is useless. It's a waste of taxpayers' money, and it's a waste of the workers' time and money.
All right, so if I start January 1st, how many weeks do I have to work before I get paid? So the post office has a whole different way of calibrating your hours and your pay. Is that what you're getting at? Because remember, I'm not from the post office, and most of the audience probably doesn't work in the post office. So I'm trying to get an understanding and see what the problem is to maybe, clarify and also make sense of what you're trying to establish, your theory. But if I can't understand, if I'm not in the post office, hard to understand how this works. Most of us, most people have 40 hours a week jobs. They get paid, they get taxes taken out, and that's it, generally.
You're right. But see, what I'm saying is, Evan, is that you got to have a fiscal year. And that's how you claim your budget in a fiscal year. You got to have that. So because you got to have the hours.
So tell me, what is a solution to the problem that you feel is in most pay systems? What's a very simplified solution that works for both sides? Remember, it has to work for the employee and the employer, because there has to be a balance. We can't just, I'd love to be pro employee and have everything, every benefit, but in the real world, it doesn't work that way.
You're correct. See, the employer, what he wants labor. He wants service. Just like the last week. Look at Spirit Airlines. Look at American Airlines. No workers. And then what they do? They blame it on the COVID virus. No. Don't blame it on the COVID virus. Blame it on mismanagement.
Well, clearly,
on the rules.
What do you think they got wrong? What do you think they got wrong?
What they got wrong is by laying the people off, because the people, if they was in the C.H.A.P.P.S system, see, they're working to take annual leave, but they got to be replaced, and they got to be recognizable, and then therefore, Evan, they would get a double salary. You would get another salary every quarter, because that's when the post office, and that's when most companies balance their books every quarter. And so every quarter you will get another pay, and you're not seeing.
Well, how's the employers going to benefit by paying extra?
Because they're going to get their money back. The employers will never lose, because you had to work 2,080 hours for your yearly salary. You had to work 2,080 hours for your benefits. Then you had to work 2,080 hours for your stipend pay, and then you had to work 2,080 hours for your next year's salary. So if you are a politician, you will have to give that money back to the government after your 4 years are up, not creating a budget, charging unfairly taxes to people to get the state government, the city government, and the federal government budget. We control our own budget.
Larry, I appreciate that you're an advocate for the worker, because obviously it seems like, the scales aren't really even. So I can respect you for that. And there are a lot of issues with balancing, employers and employees within a company. And clearly we're seeing the results of it, which is real goof ups in big companies. So I definitely respect you as a real pensive guy for trying to come up with a pay system. But I think for people to really get it, they're going to have to really read your book. And if they have an interest in trying to solve a real problem, to me, every read is worth it. If they get 100% of it, if they only get 20% of it, whatever. Everyone should be thinking of solving the problems instead of just living with it. So I'm there with you on trying to come up with a better way where there's a good balance, where employees feel good working and employers have no problem paying them the right way. Tell me, where is your book and where can people find it? On Amazon. All right, well, that's easy enough. When did you release this book?
This edition was released in 2018.
Wow, before COVID.
Yeah, 2018, because I got 4 editions out there. And I started out, like I said, with X-Leap. And the reason I have 4 editions, man, because I was learning on the job, because in all 5 places in the book, I worked in them.
Wow.
I fought in Vietnam in 1968 and 69.
Wow.
And when I was over there on that mountaintop, fighting for our democracy, whatever you want to call it, I thought I was getting paid 7 days a week, but I wasn't. I was only getting paid 5 days a week.
Wow.
Saturday and Sunday, I wasn't getting paid.
So that's where it all started.
That's when it all started. I said, hey, I'm getting shortchanged here. And then plus, the hourly rate was so little. And then my life, you know how much my life was worth to the United States of America? And all the Vietnam vets and all the World War II vets, how much their life was worth? $10,000. That's it. $10,000.
Well, that is a shame, because in war, I know you're not taking off. You don't get a weekend off. You're always,
You don't.
So I never knew that. So you actually educated me you weren't getting paid 7 days a week, and that's really sad when you put your life on the line. So I just want to
That's true.
thank you for your service, and I want to thank you for being mindful for everybody else. So
Okay, Evan. Nice talking to you,
it really
man.
was a pleasure, Mr. Pinson Sr. Good luck with the book.
Okay,
All
Evan.
right, thank you for letting us mind your biz.